Alright, YouTube. So this is the license plate light on this truck. But the bulb is burnt out and it's pretty corroded inside and stuff. So I tried to take the screws out, couldn't do that. So I'm just going to use the angle grinder with cutoff wheel and kind of cut through the plastic in that bolt or the screw, whatever, on both sides and get this off there. And then to replace it, I got these little license plate bolt lights combos that I'm going to use. Put it back on there. Alright, YouTube. So I cut that out with the angle grinder since the screws were all messed up, corroded and rusted. I kept this. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut these two plugs off right here and splice those wires into those lights there. Then the next thing while I'm under here is I'm going to mount this backup camera here, and I've got to get it power, but I think I'm just going to weld this little mount up here. So I ground that down so I can just kind of tack it up there. Good, probably about 4 tacks, and I know it'll stay. I'm not going to weld it a whole lot because I don't want to melt through it. Well, and then my plan is, instead of using this piece as a rain shield up above, since I've got the flatbed up here, I think I'm going to put it down below, and hopefully that will get rid of some of the light from my license plate bolts and prevent some of the glare up here on the screen of my camera. But we'll see. It's all kind of an experiment, but that's the idea, and hopefully it'll work out. Alright, YouTube, so I did a few more than 4 tacks, but I will say this: those are actually little tacks, and I was able to achieve that with my new welder that I was given. It's this little Northern Industrial Welders, and this thing actually sat outside in a barn for like 10 years until it was given to me as a gift by somebody, and it was brand new in the box, but it works so much better than my little Harbor Freight. I was never able to get just a little tack like that with that Harbor Freight. I would end up with a pretty decent sized puddle, because just getting it to even start up a bead or anything, it took a minute, and you had to kind of get it hot and get it to work into the metal and stuff. This one it comes on and it gives a nice little tack, and it's solid and nice. So kind of appreciating this better quality welder. Alright, so I used a little wire brush here, got rid of the slag and stuff, the splatters off there. Now I'm going to use this little bit of spray paint, and I'm going to spray paint up here, but I'm also going to paint down around these lights and stuff where it's kind of rusty and whatnot, get it lubed up, looking better. Alright, YouTube, so gave it a few minutes to dry, got rid of the rust on that. Well, didn't get rid of the rust, but painted over it with some Rust-Oleum, made it look a little better. So we've got that mounted. Now we're ready to start putting up the camera and the license plate and the new license plate bolt lights, and then wiring them up. Alright, YouTube, so I got both the license plate lights and the wire for my backup camera going into the power of the tail lights on this truck. And that's probably a little bit odd to some people, but I like to have my backup camera on all the time. I didn't want to run different wires back here, but I don't mind turning my headlights on or my driving lights on while I'm driving. And if I get out of the truck and I see the headlights on, I'll obviously know that the switch is on and I'll shut it off. So I figured there's already power back here for these. It's already got plenty of power, big enough fuse and whatnot, amperage. to run it, so why not go ahead and click it into this, and I turn on my driving lights or my headlights, I'll have backup camera and it'll turn on back here. So I figured it's just an easy way to do it. I didn't want to do it in my reverse lights because I like to have a backup camera on more than just when I'm backing up. So hope that makes sense to people. But there's the wiring. We're gonna get it all plugged in and set up. Alright YouTube, so ran into a little problem. I've installed one of these cameras before and I didn't have this problem, but the cameras that I had before were not wireless. This one's wireless, so that antenna is gonna hit back there, so I'm gonna have to get the grinder and kind of cut this out to clearance it for the antenna. But little things, lesson learned. I should have checked that before I welded it, but like I said, I've installed one of these cameras, but it was a wired version, so I ran the wires all the way to the front. It didn't have the antenna sticking out like that, so, but just a little minor setback. We'll get it fixed. Alright YouTube, so I clearanced that out, so now the antenna and the wires and stuff will just go ahead and go right through there. Alright YouTube, so turn on the lights. Got those working. This is working. I jumped the wires in so you can see me sitting there. Well, I jumped the wires in up here just to make sure that it all worked. While I was back here, it was a little bit tricky. Had to use the remote, and there's video 1 and 2, and then there was some channels, and I used this, and I was able to get it to the channel of the camera, and it tells you right on the back of the camera which channel it is. So got that one hooked up. There. Got the license plate lights working. I'm gonna get this mounted up in the cab, and then I've got this other camera that I'm gonna mount up above the box, and so that I can look down over my load and make sure that nothing's coming unsecured or whatnot. But I'm not quite ready to mount that. I'm gonna get adapter for my Milwaukee tool batteries, so I can just throw one of those in there and I don't have to run wiring all the way up there. So stay tuned for that one. Alright YouTube, so I'll put my camera up there. I only ended up doing one screw. I tried to do another one, but I ended up cracking the lid to this little like a little compartment here that I screwed to, and so I end up just using the double-sided safety, and it's just got the one screw. So my wire goes down onto the dash, and it comes out right down here, and I'm actually gonna pull out my this plastic, and I'm gonna run my wires into the cigarette lighter behind it. To those wires I'm gonna hardwire it, because that comes on with my ignition. So when I turn on the truck, my monitor's gonna come on for me. And then if I want the camera on the back, I just gotta turn on my headlights. Alright YouTube, so I got it installed up here now, and it's no longer working unless I take the camera outside of the door of the truck. Will it get signal? So I'm pretty disappointed in this thing. Do not purchase podofo TFT color monitor camera system. I could probably get you guys more information on it, but I've used their wired ones and they work fine. Wireless obviously has crap reception. Not even worth my time installing it. It does not work unless I take the monitor outside the side of the truck, which I don't think I'm going to drive around with my arm out the truck and so I can get reception on my backup camera. I think that might be a distracted driving or something ticket instead of the not having a backup camera ticket. Kind of defeats the purpose there. Alright YouTube, so I got one of the cameras to give me a good picture a little bit. It goes weird every once in a while. It's kind of, you can see it's I don't know, it's not the greatest of a picture. I like the wire camera better than this wireless. It's not turning out to be the best of pictures, and with it fuzzing in and out. I don't necessarily want it on all the time. I liked it on all the time when it was a good clear picture. It was wired up. It was, you know, I knew what was going on behind me, but with it, you know, kind of flashing in and out and all the static and stuff, I'm not real sure what I'm going to end up doing. I think I'm probably going to end up messaging the seller and complaining a little bit, maybe asking for some free wires or something so I can just make it a wired camera instead of this wireless where it's all you know, staticky and messed up. So anyways, till next time, believe in yourselves. Know you guys can do a project like this too. You guys can add backup cameras, or you know, add some license plate lights or different things to your truck too. Just believe in yourselves. Know God put you on this earth for a purpose. You know, he gave you your hands for a reason. Get up, get out, fix something, build something, create something, do something productive with your day instead of just sitting around. Till next time, keep building shit.